Welcome to EQBloom. Today we're going to explore one of the most misunderstood questions in modern health. Why do some people remain physically ill long after emotional trauma ends? What if trauma doesn't just live in your memories, but rewires your entire biology? On this first slide, you see a person grasping both their head and stomach, capturing the dual nature of trauma, mental distress, and physical pain. This isn't coincidence. The brain, heart, and gut are deeply connected through an intricate network of nerves, hormones, and immune responses. This episode dives into the field of neuroimmune dysregulation, the science of how trauma changes your stress response, your immune system, and even how your organs function. We'll also look at functional somatic disorders, where no clear physical cause is found, yet the body is deeply unwell. These aren't in your head, they're in your nervous system, your cells, your immune memories. Here we visualize the HPA axis, the hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal glands. This is your body's central stress response system. In trauma survivors, this system doesn't return to baseline. It gets stuck in survival mode. Cortisol and adrenaline, our fight-or-flight chemicals, become dysregulated. The on switch stays jammed. This leads to a cascade of symptoms: chronic inflammation, sleep disruptions, digestive disorders, hormonal imbalances, brain fog, and fatigue. Why? Because your body is preparing for a threat that never ends. It's not that you're weak, it's that your internal alarm system has been rewired. And while this may have helped you survive the trauma, it now prevents your body from feeling safe enough to repair. Let's turn to the brain. This slide shows 3 critical regions altered by trauma. The amygdala becomes hyperactive. This is your threat detector, now on high alert. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for logic, reasoning, and self-control, goes offline. The hippocampus, vital for memory and context, actually shrinks in size. This rewiring creates what trauma researchers call a brain under siege. Survivors may feel easily startled, overwhelmed by memories, or lost in a fog of confusion. Emotional flashbacks, not always conscious memories, intrude on daily life. This neurological shift doesn't just influence how you think, it impacts heart rate, digestion, pain processing, and immune regulation. Here's where trauma and biology intersect in ways that science is just beginning to understand. The brain has its own immune cells called microglia. After trauma, these cells become primed, more sensitive, more reactive. They begin releasing inflammatory signals even in the absence of infection. The immune system essentially remembers the trauma. This leads to chronic fatigue, brain fog, unexplained pain, and digestive problems. You'll notice cytokine icons here: IL-6, TNF-alpha, molecules strongly linked to inflammation and stress-related illness. This is often called sickness behavior, but in trauma survivors it becomes a chronic state, not just a temporary reaction. This is inflammation without the fever, pain without injury, suffering without validation, but the biology is real, it's simply invisible. Now we shift to the nervous system. What's shown here is sympathetic dominance, a state where your fight or flight circuits never fully shut down. The vagus nerve, which helps regulate rest, digestion, and recovery, becomes impaired. Trauma flatters heart rate variability, a key marker of emotional and physical resilience. Low HRV is like a heart that's forgotten how to dance. It can't flexibly respond to safety cues. Even mild stress feels overwhelming. And so the body stays activated, not because you're imagining danger, but because your nervous system still perceives it. In fact, the body may believe it's safer to stay sick, shut down, and isolated than to risk vulnerability again. This is not a conscious decision, it's a learned survival state etched into your biology. Here's the hope. Healing is possible, but it requires retraining the body, not just reframing the mind. This slide shows a toolkit: somatic therapies like trauma-sensitive yoga or EMDR, vagus nerve exercises, breathwork, humming, cold exposure, safe relationships that restore trust and co-regulation, lifestyle changes that reduce inflammation and stabilize hormones. This is not about thinking positive, it's about rebuilding safety, one signal at a time. Trauma-informed care doesn't just ask, what's wrong with you? It asks, what happened to you, and how can we help your biology relearn calm? We end with the visual transformation, a person shifting from gray and inflamed to colorful and grounded. This summarizes the core idea. Emotional trauma leaves biological fingerprints. It lives in your brain circuits, immune memory, hormone rhythms, and nerve pathways. But that doesn't mean you're broken. It means you adapted, you survived. And through awareness, safety, and compassionate science, your body can relearn how to feel safe again. Not by erasing what happened, but by helping your nervous system realize it's over. Healing is not about willpower, it's about restoring a broken communication system between the mind and the body. One breath, one connection, one signal at a time.